If you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering why I'm here saying that a HDB is an investment when everybody else is saying the opposite. Is there a hidden secret that everybody is not aware of? Or is it maybe so obvious that it's hiding in plain sight? And in what universe could a HDB be a better investment than a private condo? I've analysed the mechanics behind a HDB and a private condo, and I'll show you 3 reasons why a HDB is such an underrated investment tool. By the end of this video, you get a better understanding of whether a HDB is just a home or if it is indeed an underrated investment. The first reason why a BTO can be a great investment is that it offers a safe stepping stone into the real estate market with a strong profit potential. When you buy a built-to-order flat, you're purchasing directly from the government before the project is even built. The biggest advantage is the subsidized price, which is typically below market value. The trade-off is that you need some luck with the ballot, and you also have to wait around 3 to 4 years for the flat to be completed. But once it is ready, you're almost guaranteed to be sitting on some paper gains. To see how significant these gains can be, let's look at an example in Bidadari. Buyers there paid between $544K and $625K for their flats. Some later sold for as high as $1.2 million, and that works out to be a compounded annual growth rate of around 13% from purchase to sales. I've done another video that breaks down the actual net profits after deducting away all the costs, and I'll leave the link in the description below if you'd like to check that out. But beyond just profits, a BTO would also offer a safe stepping stone and a safe entry into the real estate market. If you choose to sell it, you unlock some capital which can be used for a property upgrade. On the other hand, if you choose to keep it, you're also still enjoying the lower monthly installments and the price appreciation from the start. For instance, if your flat costs around $500,000, your down payment would be around $125K, which can be supported by grants, CPF, and don't have to be paid right away. In comparison, a resale condo priced above $1 million would easily require at least $250K upfront, or even more for a brand new launch. In the past, the strategy was to lock in the best location possible in order to maximize your potential resale profits. But now, not all BTOs are created equal. Under the Prime Location Public Housing Model, or PLH, flats in central areas like Kallang, Toa Payoh, Farrer Park, and Queenstown come with more restrictions. These include a 10-year minimum occupation period, income ceilings for resale, and subsidy clawbacks. This reduces flexibility and extends the lock-in period. Instead of the usual 8 to 9 years from ballot to MOP, you could be tied down for up to 13 years instead. So yes, a BTO can be one of the safest and most profitable ways to enter the property market. But capital appreciation isn't the only way to win from HDBs. In fact, there's another area that often outperform condos, and that is cash flow. In order to understand why a HDB can be such a good investment vehicle, we need to first understand what is rental yield, why it matters, and why sometimes a HDB can win a condo by a wide margin. Stay tuned until the end where we'll compare the rental income from a HDB versus a condo so you can see the real difference in the yield for yourself. If you're new here, my name is Daryl, and in this channel we talk about real estate in Singapore. If you're watching this video, then you're probably interested in real estate investments in Singapore, and may also be interested in some of my other videos which talk about why some people just can't make money from their real estate, what specific fundamentals make some projects such a good investment, and what you should consider when deciding between a HDB and a small condo for your first purchase. So remember to like and subscribe if you want more such unbiased property videos. The second reason why HDBs can be amazing investments is the rental yield, which is often even better than a private condo. You're now probably asking, what is rental yield and why is it better than a condo? And you may also be thinking, yeah, but if I rent out my HDB, then where am I going to stay? Let's start by answering the last one first. One strategy some couples use with their HDB is the essential occupier or the EO arrangement. In this setup, one partner remains as the owner while the other, the essential occupier, is removed from the ownership after the MOP, freeing them to buy a private property later. This has important implications for the loan, CPF usage, and MOP rules. And of course, it is subject to changing HDB regulations. Anyone considering it should always check the latest rules and seek professional advice. In short, this arrangement allows a family or a couple to keep their HDB for rental while also owning a condo for own stay. Now that we understand how this EO setup might work, in order to understand why a HDB can be a better investment than a condo, We first need to understand what is rental yield. Rental yield is simply the annual rent divided by the purchase price. It measures how much return you're getting from your property in terms of rent relative to the capital that you commit. A higher yield means that the property is more efficient at generating rental income. While there can be such trade-offs such as weaker capital appreciation, the lower upfront cost of HDBs means easier affordability and the flexibility to invest spare funds elsewhere. All this compared to a private condo. And this is where the HDB often shines. With their lower entry price, the rental yields are usually higher and the monthly installments are usually more manageable and lower as well. By contrast, many condo landlords face negative cash flow, with their rental income not even being able to cover all their monthly costs. If you want a deeper breakdown of all the monthly costs associated with a condo, I'll link my video above. Now let's compare a HDB and a condo with an almost identical location, size, and age. Take Waterway Terraces, a HDB next to Punggol MRT. A 4-room unit there cost around $720K and rents for around $3,400 a month. With a bank loan, the monthly installment is roughly $2,000, giving a yield of around 5.7%. Compare this with a Treasure Trove, a private condo project of similar age and location. A unit there costs around $1.75 million and rents for around $4,500 a month. The monthly installment is around 4.8K and the total yield is around 3.5% per annum. For context, 3% and 5% is pretty standard for condos and HDBs when it comes to rental yield. Yes, the condo rental can be better for the same unit size, but remember that the purchase price is much higher as well. That means that there is a higher barrier to entry and you have to commit a lot more funds to generate those rental returns. For many condo owners, the rent does not even cover the installments, meaning they need to top up from their own pocket each month. With HDBs, however, it is much easier to achieve positive cash flow, and with smaller loans, you can also pay them off faster, enjoying rental income debt-free much sooner. Of course, condos typically offer stronger capital appreciation over time. So it ultimately comes down to your individual goals. Do you need the cash flow right away today? Or can you handle the current monthly shortfalls while waiting for a potentially larger gain in the future? Now, as you can see, the rental play in HDB is often overlooked but can be very powerful, especially when compared to a private condo. But not everybody may want to rent out their HDB, and not everybody may be so lucky as to win the so-called BTO lottery. But what if I told you that there is a form of guaranteed returns that's still available to almost everybody? Therefore, in order to understand why a HDB can be such a good investment vehicle, we now need to understand how resale HDBs work. The third reason why HDBs can be strong investments is that resale flats come with built-in, almost guaranteed gains, provided you manage your costs wisely. Resale flats are purchased on the open market and are ready to move into immediately. So you skip the 3 to 4 year construction of a BTO. The trade-off here is that they tend to cost more and they aren't brand new. But the real advantage lies in the grants. Depending on your income and your circumstances, you may qualify for CPF housing grants up to 80K, the enhanced housing grant of up to 120K, and the proximity grant of up to 30K. And these grants remain yours to keep after selling your HDB. Compare this to a condo. While the capital appreciation may be higher, it is not guaranteed. Pick the wrong project or the wrong unit, you could end up losing money. Resale flats compared to BTO also offer choice and speed. You can move in right away and kickstart your property journey sooner, and allows you to plan and execute your next move compared to waiting for a BTO. That said, there are some risks associated with the resale strategy as well. For example, many buyers tend to spend a lot on renovation, especially for older flats. For instance, if you buy a unit like this 500K one in Woodlands and spend 120K on renovations, you might struggle to recover that amount when you eventually sell it. Lease decay is another factor as well. As the flats age and their remaining lease shrinks, future buyers may shy away, causing prices to stagnate or even potentially decline. So, are HDBs investments? I would say so if you know how and want to use them that way. But that doesn't mean that everyone should treat their HDB as an investment. Ultimately, it really depends on your long-term plan. A property only becomes an investment when you have a clear strategy for it. Whether that's using it for a stepping stone, holding it for the strong rental yield, or to potentially upgrade later. If you buy a BTO, you are essentially locking in paper gains at a subsidized rate. If you buy a resale, on the other hand, you gain from the almost guaranteed returns through the grants. And regardless of what you choose, if you rent out your HDB, you often enjoy stronger rental yields compared to a private condo. Now, the strategy that works best will ultimately depend on your specific situation. Some people may benefit more from a steady cash flow, while for some others, long-term capital appreciation may be better. If you'd like to explore which approach can work for you the best, you can drop me a message. And if you enjoyed this video, you may enjoy my next video, which talks about whether buying a larger HDB or a smaller condo makes more sense as your first home.